All right, so this is your overall O-level economic structure for 2020-2022. We are right here, the basic economic problem, and we have already done the nature of economic problem. We have done the factors of production. Now the next topic is opportunity cost. All right, what is opportunity cost? This is your third topic in your unit 1. This is basically an extension of the previous topic that we completed in the previous lecture. The economic problem, the issue of scarcity. We have limited resources and we have unlimited wants. Since the resources are limited, so we have to select one and not the other. Just like you can see in this picture that we have to select either between oranges and apples. Since the resources are limited, so either we are going to go for oranges or for apples. We can't select both because we have limited resources. That is the basic economic problem. So when an option is chosen, like for example, I select oranges, for example. I am now foregoing the benefit of eating apples. This sacrifice, this loss of benefit will be considered as a cost, right? So when you select one option and not the other, so the benefit associated with other alternative choice is considered as a cost. So when option is chosen from alternatives between these two, the opportunity cost is the cost incurred by not enjoying the benefit associated with the best alternative choice, apples in this case. That is opportunity cost. So to put it simply, the loss of other alternatives, when one alternative is chosen, what you lose, what you sacrifice is opportunity cost. You have $10,000. So either you can purchase some clothing or you buy a new Chinese mobile. So whatever decision you take, what you sacrifice will be considered as an opportunity cost. So within this section, what actually we are required to do, we need to define the opportunity cost we've just discussed, provide examples as well. So definition and examples of opportunity cost in different contexts. Decisions made by consumers, just like the example I gave you between apples and oranges. So decisions made by consumers, decisions made by workers, producers and government when allocating their resources. As we have discussed, resources are limited. So we have to select one option and not the other because the issue of scarcity is always there. Resources will always be limited, wants are unlimited. So we have to allocate those limited resources. So we had just discussed the concept of opportunity cost with regard to consumer. Now let us see an example that explains opportunity cost with regard to producers. So here's the example. Please watch the video in detail. It's a very nice video and that will explain the concept of opportunity cost with regard to producers.
What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost refers to the value a person could have received but passed up in pursuit of another option. So if you were to wait in line for free ice cream, you actually give up the opportunity to do something else with your time, like working at a job or reading a book. So that ice cream really isn't free. Economists even use the concept of opportunity cost to determine if people can benefit from trading with one another. Let's look at a simple example. Just two people, Bob and Ann, who produce just two goods, bananas and fish. Because of the concept of opportunity costs, Ann and Bob are worse off when they try to do everything themselves. Here's what Bob can do if he spends all of his time producing only one good. Bob can either gather 10 bananas or he can catch 10 fish. And Ann can either gather 10 bananas or catch 30 fish. Bob has to choose to gather bananas or catch fish. When he chooses to gather one banana, he gives up one fish. In essence, Bob trades with himself. He can use that time to gather bananas or trade that time to catch fish, and the cost of that trade is 1 fish per banana. That's Bob's opportunity cost. The same holds true for Anne, but her cost of producing 1 banana is 3 fish. In the amount of time that it takes Anne to gather 1 banana, she could have caught 3 fish. She trades with herself 1 banana for 3 fish. So Bob only has to give up 1 fish to produce 1 banana, but Anne must give up 3 fish to produce 1 banana. Anne's opportunity cost of gathering a banana is higher than Bob's. If Anne and Bob are allowed to trade with one another, they may be able to gain from specialization if Anne focuses on catching fish and Bob focuses on gathering bananas. Because our time is valuable, any decision we make has a cost. If we focus our time on tasks we're good at, like Anne and Bob, then we end up in a better position than if we try to do everything ourselves.
So that was the idea that every economic agent, consumers, workers, producers, even government, faces the economic problem. Our resources are limited, so we have to allocate our limited resources between competing needs or demands or wants. Now let us consider an example, a question basically. The diagram shows the choice for an individual between leisure and earning. Now this is the third aspect. We have seen it from the point of view of consumers, apples and oranges. We have seen it from the point of view of producers, the previous example in the video. Now let us see from workers' perspective. How do workers face the problem of limited resources and unlimited wants, and how do they sacrifice one thing for the other? So here's a good question. The diagram shows the choices for an individual between leisure and earning. Of course, it's from the point of view of a worker. What is the opportunity cost to the individual of extra earning when moving from position X to position Y? The diagram right here in front of you is called the production possibility curve. It's not a curve, it's a straight line. Production possibility diagram more specifically. It shows two variables, earnings on x-axis, hours of leisure on the y-axis. It tells you that if you want to increase your earnings, you will have to have less leisure hours per day. Means you need to work more, less hours of leisure. But to the contrary, if you want to have more enjoyment, more hours of leisure, then you will be earning less. So this is clearly a situation of opportunity cost. If you want more leisure, your earnings will be lower. If you want more earnings, then you will have to have less hours of leisure. So this indicates that the worker here will have to sacrifice some hours of leisure for more earning, or if he wants to have more leisure hour, then he will have to have less earnings. This is a typical example of opportunity cost. Now the question says, what is the opportunity cost to the individual of extra earnings when moving from position X to position Y? At position X, he is having 12 hours of leisure per day and his earning is $60 per day. If he moves from position X to position Y, let's see the situation. If he moves from position X to position Y, in order to get $20 extra earning, he will have to sacrifice 4 hours of leisure, right? So if you want to move from position X to position Y, in order to earn more, $20 of extra earning, you will have to sacrifice 4 leisure hours per day. That is your opportunity cost for earning extra $20. So that makes option C to be the correct option. 4 hours of leisure per day is your opportunity cost, is your sacrifice for earning extra $20. Right? Makes sense. Next. A government is faced with the choice of spending. This is the second aspect in the we need to. What about consumers, workers, or the government? Government also faces the limitation of resources and unlimited wants. Government wants to spend for roads, dams, bridges, schooling, hospitals, but the resources are limited. So some of the wants would be fulfilled and some may not be. Just like in this question, a government is faced with choice of spending on either education or healthcare. If you spend on education, you will lose the benefit of healthcare. And if you decide to spend on healthcare, you will sacrifice the benefits to be obtained from education. So what is this an example of? It's an example of opportunity cost, where you have limited resources and you have to select one option and you have to forego the benefits of the other alternative. That's the best example of opportunity cost. C is the right answer. So I would like to explain this concept further. This curve that you see right here is called the production possibility curve, not a curve right in this figure. It's called production possibility diagram, more precisely, because it's a straight line. We just saw that for earning extra $20, we had to sacrifice 4 hours of leisure. So basically the ratio is 4 hours of leisure if sacrifice gets you $20 of extra earning. It goes on same wherever you are. Let's say if I want to move from point Y to point Z, then for getting extra $20, I will have to sacrifice 4 additional hours. From 8 to 4, if my leisure hours are reduced from 8 to 4, I will be able to get extra $20. So when the production possibility diagram shows a straight line, it is called the constant opportunity cost. Mind the word constant opportunity cost. Every 4 hours of leisure sacrificed will get you $20 of extra earning, even at this point right here. At this point, let's say this point represents A, and I want to move to point B. So you can see for additional $20 earning, I will have to sacrifice 4 hours. So this opportunity cost is same whatever point you select, A to B, B to X, X to Y, Y to Z. 4 hours of leisure time if sacrifice gets you $20 extra. This would only be practical if the production possibility diagram is a straight line like this one. But that won't be the case in most of the questions on your exam. And of course, that is related to the next topic that we'll be discussing in just a couple of minutes.